Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the 300 f2.8 EF with the 1.4x teleconverter or extender, and that is being adapted to the Canon R6. So recently I rented the 1.4 teleconverter from Lens Pro to Go, not sponsored, just who I rent my gear through, and I shot the last home football game. So I'm going to be showing you some of those videos while I talk here, my experiences with it, the downsides of it, and the upsides of it. So with this teleconverter, one downside is you do lose one stop of light. So since it's a 300 f2.8, when you put that teleconverter on it, it does go from 2.8 to f4, but you also gain millimeters in the lens. So you go from 300 to I think about 420. So luckily for us, football is at 2 o'clock, light is there's no clouds in the sky, it's super sunny, so I was still able to shoot with my settings. I think I was around 250 to 400 ISO all day, and my shutter speed is pretty high at like 2000, 4000. You know, plenty of light to keep your shutter speed super fast for a football game. So not much downside if you have plenty of light of losing that one stop down to f4. Another thing to note, that this 300 millimeter is the first generation, I think, of the autofocus model. And when you adapt that to the Canon R6, you do not get the 12 FPS and mechanical shutter. So you either deal with that slower shutter, or you go into electronic shutter and you get 20 FPS no matter what. And another downside of that is when you go to electronic shutter, you are going to get rolling shutter, so you're going to get some oblonged balls. You might get a weird bend in an arm, a bat. Any sport that has fast action, you might pick up some weird bending in objects like a golf club or a baseball bat, softball bat. Luckily in football you're not getting that too much, but this game I just shot at a slower frame rate in mechanical, so I didn't have to worry about that. Not too often is football so fast that I need that full 12 to capture the peak of the action. I kind of just know when to time it. I've been shooting long enough, and it's also trial and error. You just keep shooting, and you know, if you miss that key moment, you're gonna have a frame either before or after it, hopefully. So I'm not too worried about always being at 20 FPS or 12. Now, one thing I really loved about this is that extra reach came in so nice. Getting some nice close-up shots of the players from the side or straight on. I got a really cool photo straight on of our running back just staring into the end zone. He's in the red zone. Typically I would switch to my second camera with the 24-70 or the 70-200, but I knew I wanted that straight on shot while he was looking down into the gap. So I got that shot, got a cool reflection in the visor. That, you know, I never thought that 300 wasn't enough when it came to football, and I know a lot of people say 400 is the go-to. I know a lot of people, their main camera is the 400 before they go to a 70-200 on the second and a wide angle on the third. But man, having that 420-ish at that last game was really nice. A lot of the shots that I really like are the full body shots that are filling the frame at like half field. Like I'm in the end zone and getting pretty tight shots at like the 40-50 yard line or something like that. And so that was really cool. I got some really nice shots that I really liked from this camera. Setup with the 1.4. Now in the past, I feel like sometimes teleconverters or extenders will add softness to images, but I will say using the 1.4, I had no issues. The autofocus is super fast. It's always been super fast adapting the 300, but even with the 1.4, I never had any autofocus issues with the 1.4 during this game. Overall, my experience using the 1.4 was really nice, and for renting one for under $200 for like 5 days that I had it for, well worth it. You get that gear pretty quick. It only takes a couple days to ship from their facility. He usually gets here a day early, even though you don't pay for it that way. So shout out to FedEx, UPS, DHL, whoever's doing their shipping that day, or whoever you pay for. But yeah, overall I had a bunch of images I really liked. This was one of my highest outputted games. When it comes to final images to the school, I think I had like 200 final images given to them, and a majority of them came from the 300 with the 1.4. Overall, a great game. The Canon R6 handled it perfectly well. The autofocus was super fast. Never missed any shots because the autofocus was hunting or anything like that. So really good just outing for football that day. So we also won in the very end of the game by 1 point. So, can't complain there either. So with that said, if you'd like to see some of those images and would like to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Gorilla Photog. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments down below. I'd appreciate it if you would like to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.